Here comes the thriller you can't afford to miss. The plot is a little bit scary. Recommended to watch with a friend. The story begins in a monastery. The police receive an anonymous tip-off. Police officer Jack goes undercover as a priest to investigate the convent. Little does he know that he is about to be confronted with a horror that will turn his perceptions upside down. On his first day at the monastery, an exorcism is performed. The abbess claims that the young girl is possessed by an evil spirit. They tie the girl's limbs to the bed. To prove the exorcism was real, they recorded the whole thing on a video camera. The abbot sprinkled holy water on the girl. Then he recited the Bible. Immediately, the evil spirit was affected. With a gust of wind, it suddenly sat up. It seemed as if the evil spirit would appear in its true form at any moment, and the young girl became frantic. She kept struggling on the bed. Seeing that the time was right, the abbess took out the crucifix. The evil spirit roared again. The crucifix spontaneously combusted. And then, even more bizarrely, the portrait of Jesus on the wall moved. Portrait of Jesus on the wall moved. And from the eyes of the portrait, many insect repellents emerged. As an atheist, this exorcism touched Jack in a big way. But it wasn't too late. The food eaten at the monastery every day was particularly strange. It was a meat of some kind. It's hard to swallow, but in order not to reveal his identity, Jack had to swallow it. He'll spit it out when he gets back to his room. But then something else happened. He suddenly felt a loose tooth. So he pulled the tooth out with great force. But what he couldn't have expected was the surface of the tooth suddenly fell off, and a fly flew out of it. Was he also possessed by an evil spirit? He sneaked into the dean's room in the night. He found a dark room in the wall. It's filled with all kinds of tapes. Jack finds one of the tapes. It was a recording of yesterday's exorcism of a young girl. Could it be that the recent disappearances of women? Is the abbess really involved? The more he looked at it, the more he realized something was wrong. But he did see it with his own eyes yesterday. To find out the truth, he returned to the exorcism again. This time he found a number of things. First, the syringe left under the bed. Could this be the cause of the girl's madness? Then he found a mechanism in the floor. He stomped back and forth. The stone bed swayed with him. This explains the shaking of the bed. But what about the gust of wind that came from the maiden's roar? What was that about? Perhaps the exhaust fan could explain it. All that's left is the spontaneously combusting cross. Jack picked up the cross and looked at it closely. He found that the cross had been modified. It's a lighter-like prop. It seems that the missing women in town are indeed related to the dean. Town's young girls are disappearing frequently. On the second day, while he was investigating, he was suddenly stopped by Alan, the apostle. He then told Jack the dean already knew who he was, and that the dean knew about the case he was investigating. Alan advised Jack to stop now, otherwise he would be subjected to the dean's cruel reprisals. Jack then reveals his true identity, but he said he wouldn't back down. And then he got confirmation from Alan that the exorcism was a sham. With Alan's testimony, Jack decided to arrest the dean immediately, but when he returned to his room to retrieve his gun, he noticed sliding marks on the floor. He immediately pushed open the cupboard to check. An eerie black hole appeared in the wall. There were strange noises coming from inside. He rolls up his sleeves and sticks his arm in, but what he took out was a shock to him.